My name's James, and I'm a partner at ClickRain, and have worked on the Regency account for a number of years, and these guys can't get rid of me, so I always join in from time to time here. Maddie and Katie are going to be kind of the host for today, talking specifically about Facebook, and they kind of work in that platform day in and day out, not only from the organic content side of things, but from the sponsored posts and all the promotions and advertisements that you can do on that. It's still a very effective tool, extreme targeting, and we love that there. So Katie is new to the ClickRain team. She's not new, to the Regency ClickRain team. She's not new to ClickRain. She's been with ClickRain for over a year. Is it awkward that I'm talking over your shoulder?
No, it's fine at all.
So Katie has been brought into the Regency fold with the ClickRain team in that she really focuses on a lot of our digital media and specifically within Facebook. And she's recently been Facebook certified. You are our only team member that has that certification, which is phenomenal.
And that's a fairly new certification, right?
Yes,
that Facebook offers.
They just launched it last year.
Yeah.
You guys will be seeing her name. You'll be seeing her emails come your way from her. And so just wanted to make sure you guys got the intro live here. But that is why this crew has been pulled together. But just very top level here, before these guys jump into the Facebook stuff, a reminder, we're going to keep this short and sweet. You guys can ask questions throughout. If you ask a question, we're going to send another tablet out. So make sure that you ask questions, and we'll draw a name, and we're going to send out a tablet. But the intent is this is going to be less than 30 minutes. And so they're going to keep it moving really quickly. We want to do these quarterly again and just kind of educate you, not so that you're all of a sudden a Facebook expert. That's why we're here. But just so that you guys can think through if we recommend, hey, we should do a Facebook ad, or we want you just to know the options within the platform. The more you know about it, you'll kind of say, oh, well, this does make sense, or whatever the case might be. But we're here to be the experts. We just want to educate you guys so you know what's available out there. So we're going to be talking Facebook today. These guys are going to lead the charge on that. I get to sneak off the screen and just kind of make faces at them. So.
Awesome. Thanks, James.
Yep.
Well, like James said, you guys feel free to ask questions throughout the webinar. We'll answer them at the end. There's a Q&A box. So I know a few of you have already been emailing me questions, which is awesome, but feel free to drop them in that Q&A box so you're entered to win the Amazon Fire tablet, and then we'll answer those live at the end of the webinar. And if there's anything that we can't answer live, then we will do some research and get right back to you. We wanted to kick off today chatting about Facebook. We're super excited about this. Facebook ads are definitely one of the biggest things that we do for Regency, or I should say most frequent. We love using Facebook ads, and we love using Facebook in general. Facebook has 2 billion active monthly users, which is pretty crazy. It's growing every day. And I think, we've all seen those articles that say Facebook is dying or going away, and we're definitely not seeing that. It's, potentially the demographic is shifting a little bit, but 1 in 5 online minutes are actually used on Facebook. So it's certainly not going anywhere, and it continues to be a really acceptable and successful place for businesses and brands if they know how to use the platform. So that's what we wanted to talk about today. So we kind of have 3 different buckets to go through today, and we're going to start with Facebook pages and best practices. So starting super basic, the difference between a Facebook personal page and a Facebook business page. So my personal page is on the left right here, and then a business page is on the right. So personal page, you've got a ton of kiddo photos. I've got house pictures. It's basically a little snapshot at your life. And probably everybody watching has a personal page set up, right? So you probably know what that is. But business pages are kind of a different animal, and sometimes they can scare people a little bit. But if you're set up as a business on Facebook, you should have a page that people can like. So if that's not the case, make sure you get a hold of us so we can take care of that, because you can get in trouble with Facebook for violating terms of services if you have a page set up and it's not a business page. So we can help you with that if you have, a restaurant page or something like that that happens to not be a business page. We can help you out. There's a lot of benefits to having a business page instead of a personal page for your business. So don't let it scare you. It offers really good user management. They're super public and shareable, which is really nice when you want to get your content in front of more eyeballs. You can run campaigns through Facebook business pages. So that's a big part of what ClickRain does. You can share content in a professional way. So you can can make sure that everything looks really consistent and is reflective of your brand, which we'll talk about a lot today. And you can also access insights and reporting, which is really, really helpful to learn even more about your audience. And you can also manage reviews. So Facebook has a review function for people to leave 5-star reviews, hopefully, about your property, and you can manage those through your Facebook page. Some best practices.
All right. So one of the first things you'll definitely want to do if you haven't already is to create a custom URL. You can do this after you get a certain amount of fans, which I think you've already met that criteria. You can actually do that in your general settings. Also, we can help you out with that as well. To actually have your page verified is a great thing as well. I'm sure you've probably seen some profiles with the blue check mark and the gray check mark. That gray check mark is what you really want. That's the check mark verification for businesses. This is a relatively quick process, which will involve a call that's actually, it goes to your front desk, and that's how they verify that you are who you say you are.
Mm-hmm. So your logo and cover photo. We recommend that your profile photo is your logo, and make sure that it's really a clean version of your logo. It's really easy to read, easy to see. It's not pixelated. The colors all look good, and that can be your profile photo on Facebook. And then your cover photo, that can be a property shot. We see really good results just in general using experience type photos. So if you have any photos like that on your property, or even that look like they're on your property, even if they're a little bit more like stock photography, those tend to do really well as well.
Mm-hmm. And you can actually add videos to cover photos.
Yes.
Now. That's a new thing that was just released.
Yes, so we're super excited about this, and we actually have a couple of the Ohio lodges that are testing using videos in their cover photos this week. So we're really excited to see how that goes. But if you notice that you can upload a video to your cover photo, it's kind of rolling out a little slowly. But if you notice that that is available for you, get in touch with us and we will help you out with that so we can get a video into your cover photo. It's pretty exciting.
Another thing you'll want to do with consistency is posts. So when you're posting, does it look like something that would represent your brand very well? You want to have pictures that kind of look the same. Maybe you want to have like your logo in the bottom right-hand corner. Mm-hmm. Basically, will people actually know that you're the one posting this as they're scrolling through their news feed? Can they pick out, oh, this is a post from the Renaissance, or, this is a post from McDonald's? How can they recognize your brand through what you're posting? We do recommend that you post relatively regularly, so maybe once a day. And if you don't have enough content to do once a day, 3 times a week is great too. A big reason for this is the fact that not all of your users will see your posts all at the same time. So don't ever feel like you're really in people's faces, because chances are they probably haven't seen it yet.
What did you say yesterday the statistic is for
Sure.
the number of people actually seeing your posts?
So when you post a post, about 2% of your followers are even seeing that organically. That's a very, very small, minute amount. Frequent posts will help you reach more people more frequently.
Definitely. So we certainly don't want you to be posting every hour, and you probably don't have the content to post every hour. I know that that's kind of a little scary to be posting that frequently, but posting every day, if that's something that you can pull off, that's wonderful. So you're scrolling through your Facebook page or your Facebook feed or any social media, there's something that kind of makes your thumb stop, right? And that's what we want for you guys when you're putting together your content. And Facebook calls that being thumb friendly. Starbucks is a great example of this. All of these images are good enough that they just make you stop, make you kind of hold your screen there for a second, maybe double tap on the image or like the image. And so we want to make sure that your guys' images are thumb friendly. So make sure that you're using images, that you're thinking visually, and just really creating some good stellar content that will be interesting to people and is reflective of your brand.
Yeah, so on that same note, stay true to your brand. Make sure that what you're posting ties back to your brand in a way, or has some sort of tie-in to your location. A great thing to do is actually sign up for Google Alerts or use a platform like Social Mention to see if your hotel is being mentioned in the media, or your city, or, sometimes those articles will show up on your newsfeed. 10 great reasons to stay in Sioux Falls, or wherever you might be. These are great things to share on a regular basis, but also just kind of show your personality and your brand through what you're posting. And actually, Maddie has a really great example.
Yeah, so when I was doing a little bit of research, I found this example, the Algonquin Hotel, I believe, they're in New York. And if you are a property in Sioux Falls, you probably can't necessarily get away with posting about cats. People are going to think, well, that doesn't really make sense. You're a hotel. Why are you posting about cats? But the Algonquin Hotel actually has a resident cat at their hotel. So they're hosting a cat fashion show. And for them, it makes perfect sense with their brand. Their viewers understand that this cat is a part of their brand. So they can get away with posting stuff like this. And their viewers really embrace it because it shows even more of their personality. So just really think about your brand personality and how you want to stand out in the market. Make sure that your Facebook page or your social media is reflective of that. The 80-20 rule. So this is kind of twofold. First of all, when you're posting images to Facebook, you want to make sure that there's not too much text. If you get to be more than 20% text, generally, Facebook doesn't like that. They know that their viewers like visual images. They're interested in that kind of eye candy, and a bunch of text is not going to probably do that for the viewers. So they want you to keep the text under 20% and have 80% be really stellar imagery or content, basically not text.
And another reason why they do that is because when you're scrolling through like a mobile device, like a phone, you can't always read the text on the actual photo itself. They consider that not as relatable. On the other hand, the 80-20 rule can apply to content that you're posting. So it's recommended that you post only about 20% promotional material and 80% shared things in your industry. So that could be what we talked about earlier with the locations, featuring your location, featuring your hotel on the news or something like that. That would be that 80% part of that.
Okay, so now we're gonna jump into Facebook ad types and audience targeting. So we actually get this question a lot. What's the difference between a Facebook ad and a Facebook post? So we wanted to dive a little bit deeper into this section of the presentation. As far as ads go, these are things that do not live on the page. So sometimes we'll get concerned calls after we have an ad go live and a property will say, well, we're not seeing the ad, so it must not be up. But when we're doing ads, we're actually targeting them to a very specific group of people. And chances are you're not in that specific group of people because you wouldn't be staying at the property, right? So you're probably not going to see the ad, and that's okay. We wouldn't want you to see it. We can obviously send you a proof, and we typically will send a proof before we launch an ad, so you will still see a preview of it. But if you don't see it in your Facebook feed, that's perfectly okay. You're not going to see that living on your page. That's a big difference. Ads also offer a lot more targeting, so we can get really granular with who we're targeting. If you are looking to, run a special on maybe a ballroom, or you want to target group or anything like that, we could target people who have gotten engaged in the last 6 months and might be looking for a place to host their wedding reception. We can get really, really targeted with Facebook ads, which is really exciting and why we like Facebook ads so much. Facebook offers different ad formats, which we'll talk about in just a few minutes. They also offer different calls to action on ads. So you might see a little button that says learn more or book now or read more. That's a call to action. Sorry if you can hear an airplane right now. So that's a call to action. That's something that's only available on ads. And then ads also show up in the newsfeed, sidebar, Instagram, and a couple of other places. You can tell them where you want them to show up. So that's definitely a big bonus of ads because you can kind of tell them where to show up. With a post, it's going to live on your page. It's not going to have as many formats, and it's going to show up on your page and in people's news feeds 2% of the time. So we don't have quite as much flexibility with regular posts. Regular posts are still good. Like Katie said, we still want you posting, once a day or 3 times a week, but we definitely have more targeting options with ads. So we do tend to see better results from those, which is good because that's where we're spending money. And these are some examples of ads. One we did for Houston Woods, and then one we did for the Lodge at Deadwood, which was actually a video ad. If you see something like this, chances are it's an ad. And you can see the calls to action, the learn more and the book now in the bottom right-hand corners. And then if you don't already like the page, it will also prompt you to like the page in the ad, which is really handy too.
All right,
Okay,
so we're gonna go
see if
through.
we can share the screen so we can see this.
Yeah. We're actually going to show you some different formats of ads that you can do on Facebook and some of our favorites as well. One of the first formats you can do is something that we just shared with you, that photo and video format. That's one of the most widely used formats on Facebook. Pretty successful too. People like to see those photos and videos. It's interactive as you're scrolling through your news feed. So this is an example of a video that was shown on Facebook and Instagram as well.
So there are some properties that we have video for Regency Properties already. And if that's the case, let's get together and figure out a way that we can use those videos on Facebook because they perform really well and they're just really fun.
The next format that
There we go.
we like using is the slideshow format. So this is a really budget-friendly way to produce a video, if you will, if you don't have the budget for video. This is really super simple and easy. What you do is you actually just create a video out of pictures, and then Facebook actually gives you the opportunity to use royalty-free music with it. So you can scroll through their library and pick something that goes along with your photos and brand and just creates this awesome experience. And we've seen some really good results with slideshow.
So like Katie said, this is a really cost-effective way to kind of fake a video. So if we haven't done video for your property or it's just not in your budget for this year, but you have some really good photography, this is an awesome option.
Absolutely. Another format we love to use is the carousel format. This is actually highly recommended by Facebook for posts that are more conversion oriented. So posts that you really want to drive people to book or sign up for an event, this would be a great format to use. And we do recommend it quite frequently.
This is typically the format that we default to. If you call us tomorrow and say, let's work on a Facebook ad, chances are you're going to hear the word carousel when we come back to you.
Right. It's great for retail. It's great for travel, especially. So that's why we use it. And we'll usually say 3 to 5 slides. You don't want to overwhelm your audience with a bunch of different pictures, but it's a great way to kind of show multiple stories in one post.
Definitely.
And this is actually my personal favorite, is the Canvas ad. So this is an immersive format. It looks like a typical video or a picture at first, but then you actually tap to open it and it comes up as this little mini website within the app. So it doesn't take you to your website, it just takes you to what you've set up as your Canvas ad. So actually Facebook says that this is 10 times faster than actually being directed to a website. People are more likely to go through the content, look through it. You can feature carousels, you can have photos, videos, links, a bunch of different things. Like I said, it's like that little mini website.
I love that it loads faster because there's
Yes.
nothing more aggravating than clicking on a link off of Facebook and it won't load. So I love
Exactly.
these. Okay, guys, so we're going to head back into the webinar. Okay, so boosted posts. This is kind of an in-between of a Facebook ad and a Facebook post. It kind of falls somewhere in the middle. So a boosted post is going to live on your page and it's created like a normal post and then boosted to a particular audience. So it's basically giving a regular post a little bit more oomph and it's getting it in front of more people. You can put it in front of people who already like your page. Since Katie had mentioned only about 2% of those folks are typically seeing posts, but we can also target it to special audiences if that's something that you want to do too. Usually if you come to us and say we're interested in doing a boosted post, we'll say great, let's try running it for $20 for one day. That's pretty standard. And then once we have done that a couple of times, we can kind of see the results that we get from that kind of a boost and if we need to tweak the budget or the time. Audience targeting. Okay, Katie, this is where you get a nerd out.
All right. So this is one of my favorite parts of Facebook is the ability to actually get really granular with targeting. There's 3 different types of audience groups that you can do on Facebook. And the first one is core audiences. It's an audience that you can actually narrow by standard types of targeting methods like geography, demographics like gender, age, etc. And even get down into interests. So what kind of pages are they interested in? Are they interested in travel? Are they a frequent traveler? Do they have certain purchase buying behaviors of frequent travel? We can actually use a lot of that material and criteria because Facebook partners with third-party data partners. Next is custom audiences, and these are actually a great thing to use. We recommend them quite frequently. It's an audience that's uploaded directly to Facebook, so this is based on your email list, your loyalty list, any sort of subscribers, and we can actually target those people. So Facebook will look for those people on their platform and serve them ads. So it's great for segmenting and refining those campaigns.
We've also recommended in the past, if you're going to send out an email to like a particular email list, we can also target those same people in that email list on Facebook. So if you have a campaign that you really want to try and drive home with folks on your email list, we can also serve them that same ad on Facebook to just hit them in 2 different channels. And those tend to be very successful as well. So that's an option with custom audiences.
And then third, we have lookalike audiences. And these are very valuable audiences to use with Facebook ads. Why are they valuable? Well, it's because they are actually based off of your email lists or any sort of subscriber loyalty lists. Facebook will take that information. It will actually look for people who look most like those people and serve them ads. So you're getting people who are probably more likely to click through, probably more likely to book a hotel. So we definitely recommend lookalike audiences and see great success with this as well.
Definitely. Okay, lastly, guys, we're just about done here. Facebook page management and reporting. So again, one of the questions that we tend to get when it comes to Facebook management from you guys is, well, what's ClickRain doing and what's my property supposed to be doing? And I think that's a great question. So we wanted to dive into that a little bit. Typically, we see that the property is responsible for day-to-day posting. So you guys are the ones that are regularly talking with fans on your Facebook page. You're typing up little stories and posts and hitting submit and posting them to your Facebook page. You're also coming up with the promotional ideas. So you're the ones who are calling us and saying, okay, next week we want to offer this discount or this bonus or this incentive. How do you want to put together a Facebook ad based on that information? So you're kind of doing that initial ideation, and then you're coming to us for more of the strategy and the campaign idea. You guys are also giving final approvals. So I always just want to make very sure that it's clear that we would never do anything on Facebook or really anywhere without final approval from you. So even if you come to us and say, let's do a Facebook ad, we're not going to push go on that Facebook ad until you've approved the creative, the budget, everything. So that's all on you. And you're welcome to push back and say, no, I don't really like that creative, or I'm not sure about that budget, and we'll tweak it so you guys are happy with it. And then you're also responsible for responding to posts and reviews. So we can certainly help with this. We've put together strategies in the past and templates so you can respond to people in a very branded way. However, when it comes to actually doing the posting and responding to these posts and reviews, that would be on the property, at the property level. So ClickRain, we can put together strategic social media plans for you guys. We'll put together campaigns, create those, and think of the ideas behind them. Again, you're coming to us saying, here is our need, but we're coming up with the campaign and some of the creative ideas behind those. We can do social media audits and optimizations. So if Facebook is something that you just haven't touched in a long time and you're super overwhelmed by this whole webinar, call us and we can put together an audit to go through your current Facebook page, where you're at, what we would recommend, and how we would optimize your current page, what that all looks like. We can put together ad strategies, we can design full ads, and we also do all of the placement and execution for you. So you don't have to worry about a thing, you just tell us if it looks good. Content calendars. So if you are not even sure where to start when it comes to posting, get in touch with us and we can put together a content calendar for you that breaks down what to post and when and why we would recommend that, and kind of work with you on that. A lot of the time we'll do like a couple of months worth of content calendars and then hand it off to the property. And then once they kind of see those first couple of months, they're able to take it from there and run with it. And we can also put together communication plans and templates. If you're not even really sure how we should be talking as a brand on social media, that's completely understandable. It's just another platform where you have to kind of come up with another version of your brand voice. And so we can help with that. And we can also create templates for responding to fans, whether they're ranting or they're raving, to make sure that everything is just super on brand and that you're protected and there's no rogue customers out there saying bad things on Facebook without us knowing about it and addressing it. And this is the form that you can go to, and we send this out all the time, and I'll send this out again with the webinar, but this is the website you can go to anytime that you need a Facebook ad or an email, and we'll talk about email marketing in the next webinar, but you just click Facebook ad request, and then this will prompt you to fill out an ad request. list. We'll get in touch with you after we receive that and ask any questions that we might have. We just ask for a few days notice so we can have our creative team pull together an ad for you and work on the strategy and all that. This makes it really easy. And as soon as you fill this out, you're basically in our queue and we'll be in touch. Adding admins. So I'll just fly through this super quick. One of the common questions that we get from properties is how to add people, or can we add people to the Facebook page? We absolutely can. And most of the time we just do this for you guys. So you don't need to know how to do this. I just wanted to kind of walk through it really fast so you know what we're doing. So in the settings section of your page and under page roles, you can add admins and assign page roles to them. So not everybody on your page has to be an admin. There are other roles that give them a little bit less power. So if you have somebody who you don't want to be an admin, but you want them to be able to log in and respond to people or view your analytics or something like that, you can assign them different page roles. Again, this is something we do for you, so don't feel like you need to memorize this. Just know that when you get in touch with us to try and add an admin to the Facebook page, sometimes Facebook can be a little finicky. And so if we have a little bit of back and forth trying to get the email address and the profile link and all of that good information to add a person, we're sorry that back and forth can get a little bit annoying, but that's the reason that we do it. Sometimes Facebook just gets a little finicky. So sometimes there's some back and forth, but we'll always get it figured out. And that's it, guys. I'm gonna exit out of screen sharing so I can see, okay, so we can see the Q&A, and I think we already have one. Awesome. Okay, so Lara asked, have you had good luck targeting people on Facebook when we are using their work email? That is an awesome question. So I'll kind of kick this off, Katie, and feel free to jump in. But that definitely does present some problems because most of the time people aren't signing up on Facebook with their work email, right? They're using their personal email or even sometimes like an email from college, not necessarily their work email. So the targeting that we use when Katie was talking about lookalike audiences and using those email lists, we do need the email that they have signed up with Facebook through, correct? So if those emails don't match, it essentially just skips over that person. And usually if the list is long enough, we do have good success making sure that a good amount of people in that list are accounted for and we're able to match those profiles. But it's not usually a 100% match for that reason.
Right. So sometimes you'll actually have like a 60% to 75% success rate with matching. That's what I've seen just from uploading lists. But if you have other criteria such as their first and last name and even their zip code, Facebook can actually still match those people or find a very close match.
All right, so it looks like that was the only question that we had in the Q&A. So feel free if you guys have any questions in the Q&A or in the chat box. We're looking at both of those right now and we'll answer them. Oh, Glory Ann has a question. Okay. Glory Ann asked the type of advertising that we were talking about with that Jack in the Box ad that kind of pulled up that little mini website, and if it would be appropriate for a new feature or a service or an offer. So that was a Canvas ad. Okay.
Yep, that was a Canvas ad. And it would definitely be appropriate for featuring any sort of a new feature or offer. Typically for offers, though, I would recommend an actual offer ad, but that could be an aspect of the Canvas ad. So if you're doing, even if you're doing more of like an awareness campaign, you can have many different elements within that Canvas ad. I'm just all gung-ho for Canvas ads.
I don't know if we've done Canvas ads for a property before, so it would be really fun.
But it is on the radar. We're looking at hopefully doing that, setting that up for a few properties.
Awesome. It's on the short list for sure. Okay, guys, any other questions? Remember, if you ask a question, you get entered to win an Amazon Fire tablet.
That's an awesome incentive.
It's very exciting. And I know a few of you had emailed me a few questions too, so I know that there are questions out there. One of the questions that I did receive via email, and if you asked this, we'll still give you credit for it, was how do you know the best time of day to post, which is an awesome question. And Facebook is so cool when it comes to this kind of information. You can look at your analytics section of your Facebook page, or you can call us and we can help you with this. And you can actually see the people on your page. Are they male? Are they female? How old are they? Where do they live? You can get all of that information just from your analytics section of Facebook. And you can also see when they're online. And in the past, week or month that you have been using Facebook, when are they most likely to engage with your content? So if they're engaging with your content at 8 o'clock at night when they're watching a favorite TV show and they kind of have that what would it be, second or third screen in front of them and they're flicking through Facebook, you'll be able to see that information. And then you can kind of use that to plan out your content and know, okay, well, if I post right before 8 o'clock, then when people are online at 8 o'clock, they're going to see it and we'll have better interaction rates. So we can certainly help you with that. But the short answer is the analytics are all there and they're on your Facebook page. So it's really exciting. Gloria Ann says she can think of a lot of Canvas ad opportunities. So we're excited.
Good.
Awesome. Cool, guys. Well, we'll wait a couple more minutes and see if anyone else has any questions. Feel free to ask them. And if you feel like you're too under pressure right now to ask any questions, feel free to shoot us an email and we can chat with you there too and answer any questions that you might have about Facebook.
Probably one thing to keep in mind is when you are doing your posts, try not to be too wordy in the text
Oh,
part.
that's great.
Something actually, I think the actual recommended amount of characters for that Facebook post is 90 characters. It's actually shorter than Twitter. People have a very short attention span. So make sure you keep it short to the point. People actually look at the visuals more than anything. So make sure to keep it visual. But yeah, short on the text.
Yes, that's a great point. I think another question that comes up a lot is that about hashtags, because you notice that hashtags have been getting more and more popular on other platforms. They've always been popular on Twitter and they're pretty popular on Instagram. And sometimes you see them on Facebook. And I think a lot of people think like, well, is that working or should I be using hashtags on Facebook? The way that Facebook is set up is a little bit different than Twitter or Instagram. The majority of people on Twitter, and I would probably say also the majority of people on Instagram, have public profiles. So when hashtags are being used there, all that content is public. On Facebook, and you guys probably know this, profiles are pretty locked down, or they can be pretty locked down because we want to keep that information a little bit more private oftentimes. So hashtags on Facebook are not going to be as public. So that means that when you click on a hashtag, it's not going to pull up all this information like it would on Twitter or Instagram. However, the cool thing about Facebook is that just by using the search bar on Facebook, it's pulling in a ton of information. So you really don't have to use hashtags on Facebook in the same way that you would use them on other platforms. For that reason, there are other better ways to search. So we typically don't recommend hashtags on Facebook. If you're using them, I would say keep it to 3, maybe?
Yeah, I would say even 1 or 2.
Yeah.
It's definitely not wrong to use hashtags on Facebook. I use them too, but typically only 1 or 2 at a time.
Yep. And I do think a lot of the time on Facebook, people use hashtags kind of ironically and in like a fun way.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Instead of like using them for tagging purposes, they're just using them like hashtag Friday, that kind of thing.
Hashtag yay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I don't see any more questions, guys, so we'll go ahead and end the webinar. And if you think of any other questions, feel free to shoot us an email or give us a call. We're here to help. We will be doing another webinar, I would say probably in August or September, and that one will be on email marketing. So you will see us again then. Then we have another one planned, at least another one planned toward the end of the year. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
This is so fun. We hope that you learned a lot. And we will also send out a recorded version of the webinar and some of the links that we talked about, so you can take a look at that in your free time too, because I know it's always nice to be able to like multitask during a webinar. So we'll send this so you can keep it on your computer. Thanks, guys.
Have an awesome day.
Have a good Friday.